Alrighty, let's go ahead and evaluate some functions. To evaluate means that we are going to substitute that number into this function, and then we're going to see what the outcome is. So we're going to be given an x value, an input value, and we're going to get out an output value or a y value, or f of x is the same thing as y. Okay, so I'm going to write the exact same function that is up here, but instead of x, I'm going to put a 0 because instead of f of x, this says f of 0. So I'm going to put 0 in parentheses wherever there's an x. So this is the same as this. I just put a 0 in parentheses wherever there's an x because there's a 0 here instead of an x. Now, 0 squared is 0. Negative 9 times 0 is also 0. So we're just left with negative 12. So we would say f of 0 equals negative 12. That would just be our answer. When we input 0, we get negative 12. Now the other one is a little trickier. We have to know how to type this in our calculator. So I'm going to do the same thing again, but instead of 0, I have f of negative 2. So I'm going to put negative 2 in parentheses. Now, parentheses are key here. When I am putting something into a function, I have to use parentheses. So when you type this in your calculator, I want you to do the exact same thing. I'm using a graphing calculator, but all the features that I'm going to use, you also have on your calculator. So I'm going to use parentheses. I'm going to type it in exactly the way it is. I'm going to put a negative 2. Make sure you use this negative button, not the minus button. Sorry, I need to go back and delete that. So negative 2. We're going to use this caret button to do the squared. Then use your arrows to get out of there. We have minus 9, parentheses, negative 2, minus 12. And our answer is 12. So f of negative 2 equals 12, or 10, sorry. I don't know if I said 10. F of negative 2 is 10. So that would be our answer. Go ahead and try these two. This is a different function. So you're inputting it into the function 3x squared plus 5. So go ahead and try it. Pause the video. And when you unpause, you can see my work and answer. So I'm going to write the same exact function, but instead of x, I'm going to write a 0 in parentheses. So we have 3 times 0 squared plus 5. 0 squared is 0. 3 times 0 is still 0. So f of 0 is just 5. You could type that in your calculator if you didn't do all that mental math also. Here, I'm going to put negative 3 for x. When I substitute this in, I have to have parentheses around it, particularly in this case with that negative being squared, that's going to make a difference. So make sure you do 3 parentheses, negative 3, and then square it. And we get, oh, sorry about that, I had an extra 2 on my exponent there. We get 27, so f of negative 3 equals 27. The one thing I definitely want to accentuate is notice I did not just skip to putting this in my calculator. Make sure you show your work. Make sure you show putting your parentheses around what you plug in. That's a great way to get partial credit on questions, even if you typed it in your calculator wrong. It's still important to know how to type it in your calculator, but those partial points for that work of substituting that incorrectly means a lot.